Good morning, my dear students. Today, inshallah, we're going to have a grammar session. Present perfect versus present perfect continuous. So, what do you know about present perfect? If I had done something in the past, or I did something in the past, do I consider it present? Of course not. I consider it past. Okay. If I do something in present, I consider it present. But what if I did something in the past, but it still has its own result in present? What do I call this tense? So again, if I did something in the past, but it still has its own results in present, what do I call this? I call this present perfect tense. So I call this present perfect tense, which is, as you see in the PowerPoint, actions which happened in the past but have a result in the present. For example, her eyes are red. She has cried a lot. So she cried in the past, but when I came at present, I saw her eyes red. It's a result. So if I have a result, it means that this is present perfect. So the result here that her eyes are red. So she has cried a lot. I can't say that she cried a lot. No. So I can't say she cried a lot. I have to say she has cried a lot because I had a result which is her eyes are red. Example 2. Layla's hands are dirty. She has played with colors. Layla's hands are dirty. She has played with colors. So what's the result here? It's Layla's hands are dirty. As I see, result is something evidence in front of my eyes, something I can see. It's a result of an action. So Layla's hands are dirty. It's a result. So I can't say she played with colors. No, this is past simple. I have to use present perfect. So she has played with colors. So the first usage of present perfect tense is actions which happened in the past, but it still has its own result in the present. Number 2, as you see in the PowerPoint, an action that happened at unknown time in the past. Unknown time, I don't mention the time. For example, I have seen that film before. When you are sitting in the living room with your parents and so on, the family, having quality time with them, and then a movie comes on TV. You want to tell them that you have seen that movie before. So you can't use present simple, of course, because this happened in the past, and you can't use past simple. If you want to mention no time, you have to use present perfect. I have seen that film before. I have visited that restaurant before. I have been to that restaurant before, and so on. Example 2. They have eaten at this restaurant many times, as I said. The same example that I said. Okay. The third usage is an action which started in the past and continues up to present. An action which started in the past. Did it finish? Did it finish in the past? No, it didn't. It's an action which started in the past and it continues up to the present. Okay, let's see some examples. Example number 1, I have had this car for 5 years. I have had this car for 5 years. It means that you owned this car 5 years ago, but you still have it. So it's something happened in the past or started in the past and still continues up to the present. I have had this car for 5 years. Example 2, he has lived in Canada for 5 years. The same. He has lived in Canada. This means present perfect. This means that he started doing that action 5 years ago and he's still continuing doing this. He has lived in Canada for 5 years. It means that 5 years ago he came to Canada and then he still continues doing this. He's still living in Canada. So an action started in the past and still continues up to the present. Example 3. She has worked at the university since 1994. It means the same, of course. She worked at the university. I guess 29 years ago, and she's still working. She's still working there. So at this case, I can use present perfect tense for actions which started in the past and still continues to the present. Usage number 4, recently completed action. Recently completed action. I've just cleaned the room. It means few seconds ago, few minutes ago. Not for a long time ago. No. It's just few seconds or few minutes ago. I've just cleaned the room. I've just started my online session. I have just closed the door, and so on. Let's move to the next slide. Personal experience or change. Personal experience or change. Example 1. I have broken my arm twice in my life. I have broken my arm twice in my life. What does this mean? What does it mean, personal experience? As you see, someone who has broken his arm, this is a personal experience, something he went through. So personal experiences like breaking your arm, breaking your teeth, I consider it as personal experience. So you use present perfect tense. I have broken my arm twice in my life. I have broken my teeth. Okay. We consider also example 2 as a personal experience. I have visited South Africa. I have visited South Africa. So visiting another country, of course, is considered as personal experience, of course. So personal experience like visiting another country, going through some situations like breaking your arms, breaking your leg, and so on. Example 3. Sandy has put on weight. Sandy has put on weight. Do I consider this as personal experience? No, I consider it as change. So Sandy, maybe she was thin, and then she has put on weight. This is a change. She has colored her hair. So coloring the hair, if she has colored her hair, if she has put on weight, I consider this change. Again, let's say the usages of present perfect. Number 1, actions which have started in the past or happened in the past, but it still has its own results in the present. 2, an action that happened at unknown time in the past. You mentioned no time. 3, an action which started in the past and continues up to present. 4, a recently completed action. 5, personal experiences or change. What's the form? The form of present perfect. It's subject plus has or have plus PP. PP is the third form of the verb. Like go went gone. Of course you know this, guys, I know. Go went gone, I mean gone. Do the done, eaten, played, visited, and so on. The negative form, of course, subject plus hasn't or haven't plus PP. So this is the form. Let's move to yes or no question. As you see, has she eaten her food? Have you done your homework? As you see in the screen. Yes or no questions. What about WH questions? I start with, as you see, WH question mark, WH question word, has or have, subject plus PP. What have you done? Where have you been? What has she bought? And so on. I guess this is super easy for you guys because you have taken this maybe since grade 4, I guess. Okay, let's move to the keywords. Keywords. Already, yet, before, never, recently, at last, ever, just, lately, for, and since. I just want to mention that yet comes in the questions and the negative sentence. And ever, it comes in both negative, questions and statements. I have never seen such a beautiful lady. Statement. Have you ever visited India? Question. So ever with statements and questions. But yet, as I told you, questions and negative sentences. For example, I haven't done my homework yet. Negative sentence. Have you done your homework yet? A question. Okay, let's give you some examples about every word. Already? I have already done my homework. She has already done her homework. I mentioned yet before. Recently, I have done my homework recently. At last, we have eaten at Paris. They went to Paris and they are super excited with that. So at last we have eaten at Paris. Let's make comparison between for and since. Since is followed by time. Like, I have been in India since 2 o'clock. Since is followed by time, but for is followed by duration. Duration. I have been to India for 5 days. So for is followed by 5 days, 5 years, 10 hours, and so on. Duration. But since that one is followed by time. I haven't seen Alia since last week. I haven't gone to Paris or been to Paris since Monday. It's time. It's not duration. Monday, it's time. Okay, guys. That was all present perfect tense. Let's move to the next one. Present perfect continuous tense. Why do I use it? What's the usage? As you see in the slide, to show that something started in the past and has continued up to now, and it may continue sometime in the future. It's somehow similar to present perfect. As present perfect tense, the previous one was something started in the past and still continues to the present. But present perfect continuous tense, we add that it may continue in the future. So something happened in the past. It's still happening in the present, continuing in the present, and it may continue in the future. Like what? When you enter your house and you ask your father, Dad, where's mom? And he answers you, she has been. She has been. You know the form, of course. We have had this before. She has been, or she has, let's say she has cleaning the house all day. She has been cleaning the house all day. She has been cleaning the house all day. She has been cleaning the house all day. In this case, it means that your mother started cleaning the house in the past and she's still continuing in the present, and she may continue in the future. We don't know. This is the present perfect continuous. Something happened in the past. It's continuing in the present, and it may continue in the future. We don't know. Okay? So when you ask your father, Dad, where is mom? And he answers, she has been cleaning the house all day. When you hear that, has been cleaning the house all day. You see, has been was verb ing. It means that your mother started in the past, still continuing in the present, and she may continue in the future for some time. Let's see the examples. They have been talking for the last hour. It means that an hour ago they started talking, and now they are continue talking, and they may continue talking in the future. We don't know. Okay. Example 2. Dad is talking to Layla. Layla, where is mom? The same example that I have mentioned before. Layla, where is mom? And Layla answers, she has been cleaning the house all day. As I told you, it means that she started in the past, still continuing doing this in the present, and she may continue in the future. We don't know. Usage number 2. To express anger, irritation, or annoyance. If someone is making you angry or making you lose your temper, you can use present perfect continuous tense. For example, She has been using my bike without my permission. Has been using my bike without my permission. So if you say this tense, like if you say this sentence with intonation, like for example, she has been using my bike without permission. In this case, you are angry. You are saying it with the right intonation. You are angry. To express anger, you use present perfect continuous tense. Stop it. You have been annoying me. So you use present perfect continuous tense because you are expressing your anger. Okay? Okay, let's move to the keywords. It has some common keywords between present perfect and present perfect continuous. Okay, let's start with the common ones. Lately, for, since, recently. Okay, lately, for, since, recently. I guess this slide is somehow mixed up. I mean, like, as you see, lately, then for, then since, then all day, and all month. And all morning. Month and morning are mixed up in other places, but they must be after all day. So you can say all day, all morning, all month, and so on. What's the most keyword that we use for present perfect continuous tense? It's all day, all morning, all afternoon, and so on. Whenever you see the word all, of course, it's followed by some words, all day, all month, and so on. If you see all, it means that it's present perfect continuous tense. It's not present perfect. It's present perfect continuous. Type, Miss, I have been mixed with present perfect continuous and present perfect because I have, for instance, a keyword for present perfect and keyword for present perfect continuous. How do I know? How do I know the difference? He's not that stupid. He won't give you four answers in a sentence, sorry, and then he asks you to extract between present perfect and present perfect continuous. No, he won't do this because both are correct. For instance, are keywords for both, so it won't happen. Okay? Don't worry. So let's say again quickly the present perfect continuous tense. Number one, it shows that the usage, number one, to show that something started in the past and has continued up till now, and it may continue sometime in the future. Two, to express anger, irritation, or annoyance. Keywords, lately, for, since, all day, how long, recently. Okay, let me give you some example, and that will be the last one. How long have you been living in Cairo? I have been doing my homework all day. And so on. Thank you so much, guys. That was our session today, a grammar topic. Of course, the recorded session will be uploaded on the group or my school and so on. Thank you so much.